Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to the 7th episode of my 1 vs 4 Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I'm playing against 4 Emperor AI that are on a team against me, and I'm playing as the Shadow Elf Sorcerer, Malus Nightlord. In our last episode, we were able to successfully recover the city of Sakura here, and this city had been basically taken over by some roaming units, a spirit elemental and another unit, and we were able to bring our forces back, reclaim the city, and regain kind of the benefit of having this city in our empire. So in particular, getting that extra knowledge income from the laboratory and observatory here, and also thanks to our arcane study, we're getting a big knowledge boost from having Sakura back in our terrain. And you can see here we've now got a number of different cities here that are all we're gradually kind of taking over this bottom corner of the Shadow Realm. This city is now a vassal. And if we jump up top, we do have a High Elf city here that we now have control of. And we've got a number of different units here that we've got moving around. So we're doing well, but we've got a lot to take care of here in this episode. Before I dive in, I did want to give a shout out in this case to Casper Eklund, who left an excellent set of comments, as he always does, on the last episode. Casper pointed out a number of things, and I think they're worth going over, so we're going to talk about them here before we get started. So the first thing that Casper mentioned is, as I was moving Vraxin down to this city here, we actually passed by this Raven's Keep, and I took a peek inside and decided I wasn't really... I didn't think I could win the battle easily, so I decided not to try it. But when I was looking in here, there was actually a fallen angel was one of the units in this structure. And Casper pointed out that fallen angels have a very high spirit weakness, and that makes them really susceptible to something like Convert, which the Theocrat has as a ability here, of course, which I've been using to gather additional units to my cause. And in particular here, this is a spirit check. So what Casper suggests is that I could, if I want to, send my Theocrat down to clear out this particular structure and try and get a hold of that Fallen Angel, which is a tier 4 unit, very powerful. So I'd have a good chance of doing that. And I think that's a great idea. The only issue, obviously, is that I would have to then kind of divert from being above ground and head back into the Shadow Realm, which I may not end up doing. The other option here, and this is something I've been thinking about, that spirit weakness also predisposes the fallen angel to being basically weak to inflict Ghoul Curse, which Vraxin is going to have access to as soon as he hits level 9, which you can see here he's got 476 out of the 500 experience. So probably 1 or 2 more battles and he should be at level 9 and have access to it, and that would then give him the ability to Ghoul Curse the Fallen Angel. So either way, I have a good chance to get the Fallen Angel, so I agree with Casper on that, and it's good to point out that spirit weakness potential there. The other thing that Casper pointed out, kind of on the topic of the Theocrat, is that I kind of made a silly choice here in the last episode. So when this hero leveled up, I picked a particular spell, and I believe it was Rebirth here. So I chose Rebirth as a spell. And this spell in and of itself isn't necessarily bad. However, on the next level up here, I think at level 11, I'm going to get access to... I don't think I already do have access to it. No, so it'll be at level 11. I'm going to get access to something called Divine Justicars, which is a 10-point upgrade that will give Resurgence to all units in my stack here. And so what I probably should have done is saved the upgrade points, not got that spell, and then just waited until I'm at level 11, and then I could have given Resurgence to all of my units, rather than having to cast a spell and just have it on 1. So Casper is absolutely correct. That was just a blunder on my part. I wasn't really thinking about leveling up my Theocrat, as, again, I have a little bit less experience with Theocrat heroes, as opposed to, obviously, Necromancer heroes, which are kind of my bread and butter. So that's something I'm going to have to keep in mind, is that I'm going to now have to save points probably at level 11, and then at level 12, I'll get Divine Justicars. Last episode, near the end, I had asked kind of for some feedback on how I would want to kind of split these stacks up. So just to refresh everybody's memory, we've got Vraxin here, a Necromancer hero. We've got a Node Serpent and a Human Knight. And then we've got this Brew Brother who has Nourishing Meal, which is important because that can heal living units and undead. We've got 2 champion level cadavers. And then we've also got these 2 undead units that we acquired in the battle here in this tomb that we raided. So we have a Bone Collector, which is a great kind of melee unit. And then we've also got a Goblin Reanimator who's able to heal undead. And I had asked sort of how should I go about splitting this stack up. Casper's suggestion is basically to take the Node Serpent and the Knight and move them off the stack and leave Vraxen, the 2 cadavers, the Brew Brother, and then incorporate these 2 undead into the stack. And I like that suggestion. Casper made a point that Nourishing Meal is able to heal undead, so it actually makes sense to keep the Brew Brother with the undead stack. I mean, alternatively, I could keep him with my living units to heal them, but it also would make sense to keep them with the undead. And I think I like that idea, especially since I'm going to be using this particular stack led by Vraxen to go raid another tomb, and I'm going to probably need all the healing I can get. So I think what we'll do is we'll split off these 2 units, and we'll actually send them over to join up with our Rogue Hero over here. And our Rogue Hero has 2 Summoned Wyverns and a Draconian Charger, and we'll incorporate these in, and that will become a very powerful stack. So we'll just move in like that. There we go. And as for this stack here, yeah, we will basically group up, and for now we'll just chill, but that's going to be what we do there. So again, great suggestion there from Casper. And then the last thing Casper had suggested is to cast Scales of Fortune, which is the effect here that I have on this particular city. And that basically just means that any units that I summon or produce in the range of this city basically have a 100% increased chance to deal critical damage. So basically just increases their odds of doing a critical hit or getting that critical bonus. So Casper pointed out that that's a really cheap spell. I could cast it on a few of my cities, especially the ones near the front lines, and it wouldn't cost me very much. So that's a great suggestion. Big thank you to Casper for all those suggestions. Again, they're always very helpful. And I think with that, though, let's get into the episode. So we had a little bit left to do here. We've got some production to take care of. So in our throne city here, we have to figure out what we want to build. And I think we're basically just going to go whole hog here and go for the Grand Palace, because that's going to give us extra casting points. So that's what we're going to do there. In the city of Asper Sen here, which is our Draconian city, I would eventually like to make this Sorcerer's Conflux. And you know what? It might actually... We've now got 50 production income. That would mean it only takes 3 turns. I think we will do that. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to be able to build Draconian Apprentice units in this city. Draconian Apprentice units are great because they get that Firebomb ability, which is fantastic. And then with some of the upgrades I get for being a Sorcerer, I can end up giving my support units Inflict Stun, which then means I have an AoE stun-inflicting Firebomb attack, which is just pretty insane. So we're going to end our turn there, as that pretty much takes care of everything there. So we've now got the ability here to summon this Node Serpent, which was a spell I was working on before. So I have to figure out where I want to summon that. I've really got a few options. I think one of them would be to give it to Malus. And Malus doesn't really have it. He only has tier 2 units in this stack. So it might be nice to have a Node Serpent there. In addition, I have the ability with Malus to mend Magical Being. So I think it's probably going to be most beneficial with him. However, I could add it to this stack up here, which is a little bit worse for wear at the moment. Although, thankfully, Virix can heal quite a bit, so next turn these units should get a lot of health back. However, I think because Virix is going to be able to basically just convert units, and we're going to raid this structure next and maybe try and grab the Dire Panther, I'm not too concerned about this unit getting more units, so I think they'll be okay. They can kind of build themselves up, thanks to the convert of our Theocrat. So I think it does probably make the most sense to summon it with Malus here, and then we also were able to acquire this Arcane Archer as well. So we can throw another unit in with that Archer. Maybe we'll take, let's see. We've got support. Might be nice to maybe take our Infused and put it in with the Archer, and then we can send them down maybe to create kind of some kind of stack down here or something like that. We'll basically figure that out. Alternatively, they could just come with Malus and help out if we encounter anything too nasty that we have to deal with. Okay, so we are under attack here, and this is great because it'll give us an opportunity to get a little bit more experience with Vraxen, who needs to get to level 9. So these are just some pesky roaming units who basically just need to die here. So we're going to heal up our Bone Collector, and we're also going to drop a heal on our Cadavers. As well, we're going to send these ones in. And you know what? We're going to use our Brew Brother here to also heal these Cadavers. And then we'll send our Cadavers like that. And we'll kind of just chill out. Alright, there we go. Our Cadavers doing the work up front, which is what we need to see happening. Okay, so let's focus on what's going on over here. So we'll move Vraxen right up behind so that he can do his max amount of damage there without any penalties. And then we can get the kill with our Cadavers, no problem at all there. We'll move our Brew Brother up, do a little bit of damage, and try and maybe entice them to come attack me there. And now we got to watch out. We don't want our Reanimator taking any hits, so I think we're actually going to send our Reanimator basically back out of harm's way here. We're actually going to go all the way back. There we go. And now with our Bone Collector, I think we'll come over here and kind of force them to come at me one at a time. There, we've got the rocks kind of protecting us a little bit. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so no worries there. And we did get a level up there with our Bone Collector, which is always a good thing. So why don't we come in here with our Cadaver, turn the Warg around, and just get the kill, no problem. Now let me check. So we've got 31 experience here. I want to see if Collect Bones gets experience for this unit. So we're currently at 31. Let's see. No, it does not. Okay, so that's good to keep in mind. Just in case we were wondering if that is going to help us gain additional experience. Oh, and I probably should have gotten the kill with Vraxen there for some extra experience, but that's okay, as he did get a little bit, so he's now at 488. Means that basically in the next battle, he's, unless I don't use him at all, he should level up. So that's fantastic for him. And, okay, someone has completed Eternal City, meaning that they're the first to own a metropolis. So someone's growing. They're growing their cities. Vraxen now has a mount. He has a Fire Wyvern, which is great for him. Extra fire protection. He now actually has protection rather than weakness, which is fantastic. And more importantly, he's got that mobility of having a flying mount, which is extremely useful. So very, very good for him. The village of Petaros has a quest available. Okay, and that's this Frostling city way up north here. Let's see what they want. Quell the rebellion. My only issue is that this is pretty far away. Let me see here. I do have Malus kind of in the vicinity. And I believe that's through this portal here. Let's just double check. Yes, it is. You know, we could get that done, actually, and we could send Malus to do it. I think maybe we'll accept that quest. Tell me more about it. And we can get a Frostling Ice Queen, which is a very, very powerful unit. I think we're going to accept it. Yeah, why not? And we'll head Malus up that way then. That'll actually work out very, very well. Okay. So we had this unit going for this little bit of gold here, which we will go ahead and grab. And we're going to summon this Node Serpent in with Malus, I think. And we're going to, of the units here, we're going to break off the Infused, I think, to basically form a separate unit here. We'll send the Infused over to join the Archer. And then we will actually summon the Node Serpent here. There we go. We could go explore this Ancient Ruin as well. That might be nice to clear out. But we can also go north and clear out this Crystal Tree. And there's an Ancient Ruin up here as well. So I think we'll actually go this way. We'll just ignore this one for now. It is tempting, but I think we're going to just go this way. Alright, so let's do this battle. Okay. So we've got some things to kind of think about here. First, we're going to throw Static Shield on our Phantasm Warriors. We'll move them up like this. And our exterminators are a little bit beat up, so we do have to be a bit careful with them, as we don't want them taking a ton of unnecessary damage, since they're already a little bit beat up. However, they do provide the benefit of projectile resistance there, which is quite nice. So I'm actually going to put it on my Node Serpent there. Okay, so it looks like they're just going to sit in defense mode. So I think what we'll do here is we'll throw up our little lightning sprite there. He can go be the antagonizer. So we want to kind of draw them into a fight here. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to just move ourselves up a little bit here, like this. And we'll actually go like that. And there, that way we're getting the kind of the benefit of our projectile resistance effect there coming from our exterminators. So I'm expecting they're just gonna, yeah, come in and do some damage. There we go. Although I suppose the elemental ranged attacks don't necessarily count as projectiles in the same way. Okay, so we've got these wisps here who are going to need to die. So we'll do that. There we go. Takes care of them. Do some damage to the Phantasm Warriors there. And we can do a little bit of damage here. There we go, perfect. And now this Node Serpent is the real scary customer, so we got to make sure we deal with that appropriately. Now our cavalry can move in and attack the apprentice units, which I think is what we'll do. And we're going to have our Phantasm Warrior move in and deal with the Phantasm Warrior v Phantasm Warrior. And then I think we'll go Node Serpent v Node Serpent. The only thing to keep in mind is that this Node Serpent does have sprint. And if we charge our cavalry in, the Node Serpent may use sprint, come around behind and try and flank and do a lot of damage to us, possibly putting us in a really bad situation. What kind of damage would the Node Serpent do if it were to hit us? I'm not exactly sure how dangerous that would be for us. So I think I'll go like this, and I'm just going to hope that that's not the case here. I really don't want to lose this unit. Let's see what this thing does. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. Okay, we survived it, but yeah. Sort of my instinct on that one was correct. Alright, let's move up just a touch here and see if we can not quite get the kill, but we will get the finish. There we go. Alright, so now we got to bail out our exterminator there who's in rough shape. So we'll move in like that and get the big hit there. And then I think we're actually going to use sprint, move around like this, do some flanking hits, and allow us to basically retreat off, as we don't really want to be up in the battle there if we can avoid it. And so we can do some damage here, help out a little bit. There we go. Okay. And there's that sprint going after our hero. So we'll move in behind, turn the Serpent around, and we'll actually do quite a bit of damage that way, but I think it would be more beneficial to back off, hit it with a spit. Now, of course, it's immune to shock, so there we go. Now, can we try a Stunning Touch? I don't think it's going to work, yeah. Okay, so I think what we'll do is, just to kind of protect Malus, we'll throw our Storm Sisters right there, and our Phantasm Warriors like this. And then we can even throw our Exterminator in behind, like that. Okay, and no worries there. We just took those hits, no problem at all. So Malus could now actually go around and drop a heal on our Node Serpent, which might actually be kind of a good idea. So we'll do that. And then we're going to have to just run in and hit it. So I think what we'll do is we'll step up with our Storm Priest here, do some damage, and then finish it off with our cavalry. Get a little bit of lifesteal back. No worries there. So that takes care of that battle. We got some really nice level ups there, which was very, very good for us. And some shoes here, shock protection and defense. I'll take that just to have some extra boots because most of my heroes do not have any kind of foot protection. So that also gives us shock protection, which is fantastic against any of these kind of elementals that have shock damage. So now we'll move off to the Ancient Ruin and let's see what we're up against here. We do have a curse that's going to affect us, but this should be a relatively easy battle, so we'll do it. So we've got an ogre, and we've got the hunter spider baby is the only thing we kind of got to be careful of just because of that phase, and obviously its webbing ability. So now let's see what we can do for damage here. Now I'm gonna use all 3 attacks because I want to try and get a stun on here. So let's see if we can. Yeah, there we go. We did get a stun, so that's fantastic. We can do some big damage, and we got the kill, no problem at all. So now we'll throw Static Shield onto our Phantasm Warriors, and we'll actually throw them up like that. Now we just got to deal with these boars, who I think we'll just send our Node Serpent in to go fight there. I was just checking why the Node Serpent was unhappy, but I forgot everybody's cursed, so they're a little bit less happy right now. All of our side, anyway. Okay, and there we go. So the boar is now down. Okay, and this is great. Now we can just blast the ogre with our ranged attacks here. Do tons of damage, no problem at all. And we can actually even get the finish here with Malus, which is fantastic. There we go. Nicely done. A Bleak Warg. We will take this. Some Frost Protection, Night Vision, and Overwhelm, as well as some extra knowledge. Why not? Sure, and you know what? I can give this to Malus himself. That would be just fine. He will... Actually, you know what? He's going to get this big beetle right away, so why don't we actually send this off, now that I think about it. We'll send this off to another hero, so let's see who would maybe benefit most from it. Our rogue hero might be the one who could use it. I think that's who we'll send it to, so we'll send it to our rogue. So, yes. There we go. So our rogue is now going to have that. And obviously this big beetle is going to hatch, and then we're going to get the mount out of that. So that would be just fine there. Alright, so now we want to head up and get to this. Now on the way, we could try and go clear out that tomb. Or we could head up this way, clear out this Well of Souls, and clear out this particular structure, which I believe is an ancient ruin. And then we can head through and maybe grab that item rack as well. So I think we'll do that. We'll go this way. So that's going to be the plan there. So that works out pretty well. We also actually got a level up with Malus, so he's now level 10. So let's kind of see what we could grab for him. So Projectile Reflection, again, not the worst thing ever. It's pretty decent, except that I'm not really intending to have Malus kind of up on the front line too much. So probably not the most beneficial. I think maybe I'll just save the points. Maybe I'll grab Dispel Magic, just to have that option as well. I'll grab Dispel Magic, and then I think I'll just save the rest of the points there. Because again, Malus is going to get some powerful... at level 11, he gets some powerful stuff, so we're gonna save those points for that. I believe that's when he gets Thunderstorm. Alright, let's see. So now we got to do our undead stack here. So we're going to unite our undead stack, and then we're going to head straight over here for the tomb. We want to go clear that out. Okay, so now we can cast some spells. So why don't we do Scales of Fortune here? I think we'll do that. We want to get that going, put that on a few more cities, perhaps. And then now, okay, here's the big question. This stack is kind of hodgepodge at the moment, so I'm not exactly sure what to do with them. Obviously not strong enough to go clear out this Forgotten Throne, as that is going to be very well defended. However, I think what we could do with this stack is head down here and try and take this out. And again, I actually think this might be spawning enemies. I'm not 100% sure, but either that or because what I was trying to figure out is, where did the unit who attacked this city come from? And it looked like they came from kind of down, like, to the south here. And I can see there is some area over here that they may have somehow been able to traverse. But I think what actually happened is that they may have spawned out of this structure. So I'll read the description. Treasure site. A tear in the fabric of reality that allows raw magical energies and creatures to run rampant. Sealing it will allow you to harvest some of that power. So I'm assuming here where it says creatures to run rampant, that means that it's actually spawning enemies. Another clue is that it's got this kind of red aura there, which you typically only see from... Let's go back to the surface here. Whoops. There we go. You typically only see that red aura from these spawning structures, and you can see it around this monster den as well. Speaking of which, let's go clear this out. So we will head down this way, and we will initiate this battle. Although none of these particular units are that strong, we do still have to be careful here, as we don't want to get sloppy and lose anybody. Now, fortunately, we've got our Theocrat here who can provide some excellent buffs for our units here. So we'll give a buff to our Node Serpent, I think. We'll send the Node Serpent up like this. And then we will move our units in just a touch, kind of like that. There we go. And then our Monster Slayer can just kind of sit back here, do a little bit of extra damage. Alright, now let's let them come in at us here a bit. Okay, they're going after our Monster Slayer there. Not really a surprise, as we didn't leave it in defense mode, and the Monster Slayer was a little bit hurt already, so not really that surprising. So I think what we'll do is we'll use our Monster Hunter here to kill the Dread Monkey. There we go. And then we can use our Griffin Rider to kill the Tiger. There we go. Now I would like to try to convert... Yeah, we can come down and kill the Warg with our Night Guard. What I would like to do is try and get a convert here on these Dire Panthers. So let's move over and see if we can accomplish that. Oh, and of course they're immune for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. Oh, right, because they're an animal unit, so they're not as susceptible to a convert. We can try it on the Kobold, though. Okay, and we were successful, so that's nice. I always forget. So again, I think it was in the last episode we talked about what units are and aren't susceptible to convert. And the idea being that convert kind of has a sort of somewhat arbitrary kind of whitelist for what is and what is susceptible to it. So just something to keep in mind there. I think it requires the unit to basically not be an animal, essentially. But again, even some humanoid units aren't susceptible to it, so... Okay. So, ooh, and we got some cool items here. So we got some sandals, which are basically useless. I mean, they're not entirely useless, but I'll probably just sell them. And then we got a quiver of poisoned arrows, so our ranged attacks would do 2 extra blight damage. I think I'll take that just for the quiver, honestly. The sandals here I'm going to just sell. Whereas the quiver I'm going to send to our rogue. There we go. Increase her blight damage. Now, this little guy I'm probably going to just use as a scout. That was kind of why I wanted to grab him in particular. Alright, so now we've got a few other things we want to go clear out. So, let's see. Now, which way do we want to go with this particular unit? I'm thinking we probably want to head over this way to this structure, so that's what we're going to do. We also have a city down here. It looks like a dwarven city that we're going to have to go take care of. And this stack here was moving into the dwarven area here, so we have to decide kind of how we want to handle this. So let's see what we'd be up against. 2 prospectors, not too dangerous, just a irregular unit with throw stones. Crossbowman, and then a shield bearer here who does have defensive strike. Versus we have a Storm Sister, long swordsman who's a little bit worse for wear, an Archon archer, and a high elf stormbow. Yeah, I'm not super confident there with our ability to win that battle easily. I think we'd have some trouble just because we don't really have anybody to kind of sit there and tank the damage very well. So let's grab this mana. Now, might be nice to be able to send somebody in as a reinforcement. This initiate would take a few turns to get there. I mean, if we're smart about it, we can probably win the battle, the game. The biggest issue is just going to be the defense of this shield bearer. And then we've got ranged attacks coming from all these other units. And dwarves are just kind of tanky by default, thanks to their being dwarves and having a little bit higher defense and resistance. So, yeah, it's just this swordsman is not going to survive the battle. That's pretty much a given. I'm going to think about that one for a bit here. Let me finish moving everybody else in the meantime. So we'll go back down, just make sure we've kind of dealt with everybody else. I think we maybe already have. Yes, it looks like... Okay, so everybody else has moved. Well, while I'm thinking about it, let's decide on our research here. Okay, so now if we were to do an Eldritch Horror, which we had kind of thought about maybe researching previously on other episodes, it would now only take 9 turns, which is much faster. And we've now got 70 casting points as opposed to having, I think we only had about 50 when we were thinking about it before. That's pretty darn tempting, honestly. I think maybe what I'll do, though, is I'll grab Starblades quick, and then I'll do Eldritch Horror next. So we'll grab Starblades just to have another upgrade for our units that we can summon in battle if necessary. Okay, the city of Yathlon needs its production dealt with. So what do we have in this city already? So we have a Builder's Hall and a Siege Workshop. We have a temple and a shrine, a laboratory and an observatory. So let's go back. We've got 91 production per turn coming in. We could build a Sorcerer's Conflux and get us some Shadow Elf Apprentice units coming out of here. Pillar of the Stylites we can make here. We're improving our pikeman units. I don't think that's really going to be of tremendous benefit for us. Right now we can really only produce the Touched and the Storm Priests here. So, just thinking about this. We always do need the mana income, so I'm tempted to do Great Temple. Barracks we would be able to make Night Guard and the Arcane Archers. So I suppose we could make this more of a pikeman-oriented city if we do the barracks, start producing the Night Guard, but we'd also then make the Pillar of the Stylites, where our pikemen have projectile resistance and +2 melee damage. That might actually be kind of decent. We've got an Arcane Item Forge coming with our other city there, the Sakura, I think. Sakurai. Masters Guild, yeah, not so much. Public Baths. I mean, the city's already super happy. So unless we're going to go for the temple, which, I mean, we may end up wanting to do. Or, excuse me, not the temple, the palace, I should say. You know what? Let's do a barracks in this city. That way we at least have a city that's able to kind of maybe produce some of our big boy units. Yeah, I'm not quite confident in this stack here. So I think I'll just use this to basically keep doing a little bit of scouting. And I mean, they may end up attacking me, which would be just fine. Alright, so that's going to do it for that turn. So now next turn, we've got a lot of cool things that are going to be happening, I think. We've also got to start thinking about, where are our opponents? Because we're already on turn 28, which is getting... that's starting to get a little bit further into the game, and we're going to start encountering a bit of a snowball effect if we don't start going after our opponents soon. So I think we're going to basically start using our Necromancer and Theocrat stacks to build up some units and basically start kind of trucking over to the west here. And hopefully we'll encounter some of our opponents and we can maybe deal an early strike to one of them, take them out of the game, and give ourselves a little bit of a bit more of a fighting chance. Because if we let multiple of our opponents, more than one, start kind of snowballing up and eventually get tier 4s pumping out, we're going to be in a world of hurt. So we want to kind of preempt that and get after them while we can. And we're going to have to see here, though, So we also have to decide where do we want to cast Scales of Fortune. So basically, probably on one of our frontline cities. This might be a good option here. Alternatively, maybe our Draconian city, because we are going to be producing... Eventually, we're going to be having our Sorcerer's Conflux ready to go, and then we're going to be producing apprentice units. So this may actually be a good city to cast it on as well. So I'm thinking either up here at our High Elf city or in our Draconian city, I think would be our best bets. So let's maybe do that. We'll throw it on the Draconian city, I think. There we go. Okay, and we've received a proposal from some Tigrans here. So they want to make peace with us. Which city is that? That's this city here. So they're currently not very happy with us. They're at war with us. I suppose we could make peace with them. I don't really think I am super pumped about getting this city as a vassal or anything. I think I'd rather just take it over eventually. But I'll kind of stew on this and think about it. Okay, so Malus's Big Beetle did hatch, and he's now got the Big Beetle mount, which is great for him. He's got Overwhelm. He's got Wall Crushing, Blight Protection. And I think he does, yeah, he does still have Floating, so he should actually... So this is actually kind of one of the benefits of having Floating, although, again, not the most useful because I can eventually just summon Flying Mounts as an ability. But it is nice that I get the Big Beetle benefit, but I still get to be a floating unit. So that's kind of cool. So Wall Crushing, Overwhelm, Blight Protection, and Tunneling. All very nice. All right, so let's start. I really want to start with my Necromancers. So we're going to start here and raid this tomb. So let's see what we're facing. Ooh, yes. Okay, a Deathbringer. That is fantastic. We're going to do this battle, and we're going to try our best to obtain that Deathbringer. So one of the issues we're going to probably encounter in this battle is that we don't do a ton of elemental damage that is going to be very effective against undead. However, we do have the capacity to do some pretty solid physical damage, which is, I think, going to be sufficient. So we want to deal with this Deathbringer before the Deathbringer is probably going to get to use Shadow Step and jump in behind us. So I suppose we could back Vraxen up, because we don't want Vraxen getting into one-on-one combat with the Deathbringer, because that would end very poorly. So maybe what we do is we actually back up. So go like this, like that. Bring our Reanimator back, and then we bring our Brew Brother back. And we kind of... What I'm hoping is that they come out more and kind of extend themselves here, where I'm able to... There we go, perfect. That's what I was hoping for. Okay, so now we've got them in a position here where the Deathbringer is actually kind of able to be attacked a little better here. So we'll do that. We'll do some damage with our cadavers here. We can't flank the Deathbringer, so it doesn't matter if we turn it around or whatever. And we'll go after it here with our Bone Collector. There we go. Then we'll move our Bone Collector up that way. And now what we'll do is we will revive the Deathbringer on our team now, which is excellent, exactly what we needed. And you know what, we'll even throw a heal on just to make sure it doesn't go down. And then we're also going to throw our Brew Brother in defense mode like that. And that should be our turn. So we're going to take some more damage here, that's for sure. We really don't want any of our units going down if we can avoid it. Okay, so now we got to make sure we try and take out as many of these other units as possible. So I think what we'll do is we'll come in here, obliterate the infantry, move in and kill the warg as well. Perfect. There's that killing momentum in full display. Absolutely beautiful. When you finish off and get the kill, you can keep moving, which is just fantastic. All right, so now we'll jump in here, try for a control undead here. Let's see. Okay, and we failed, but again, it was worth a try. So now we got to deal with these lost souls, so I think we'll just use our Deathbringer to do that. There we go. Perfect. They're dealt with. So now we can actually Yeah, we'll just come in with our cadavers and do some damage there. And then our Brew Brothers here are actually in kind of rough shape. So I think we'll heal them with their own ability. There we go. And then we can move our cadavers in to get the finish here. Perfect. So now I have a Draconian Deathbringer, which is absolutely fantastic. Some additional boots here. These are boots of the Shocking Snake Slayer. 40% shock protection and +2 defense. I will take those. And that's actually pretty good for my hero who does not have boots currently. Okay, and Vraxen has now leveled up, which is fantastic. I'm just going to take a quick drink here. Excuse me. So, sorry about that. My voice is getting a little raspy. So, okay, Vraxen has leveled up, which is fantastic for us here. That's going to give us access to Inflict Ghoul Curse, which is exactly what we wanted. That is absolutely fantastic. And the fact that he has the flying mount is going to make that easy as pie to just get in behind and try and inflict Ghoul Curse. So very, very happy about that. And then on top of that, we also have this Deathbringer, who also has Inflict Ghoul Curse, as well as, here it is, as well as Total Awareness and Tireless, Mind Control Immunity. This is just a fantastic unit. Really, really happy to have him. Now the question is, what do I do here? Because obviously I want to include the Deathbringer. So I think what I'll maybe do is bump off one of these cadavers and kind of just relegate them to maybe Expendable Scout or something like that. I'm going to head up this way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the Deathbringer into the stack. I want to go back to this particular Raven's Keep. And I think now I actually have units that I'm much more confident being able to move in and take that out. So, and then I'm going to try and get a Ghoul Curse on there as well, on the Fallen Angel. So that would be fantastic. And we did have an item arrive here for one of our heroes. There we go. So the Quiver to our Rogue. Fantastic. Okay. So now we've got to do this battle. And these two units, these Wyverns, are basically expendable. I used them, or excuse me, I summoned them. So I'm less concerned about them dying, basically. So we're going to engage this battle as I want to basically clear this structure out and prevent it spawning any additional units. Now we got to remember that those fire elementals are going to explode when they die. So we want to avoid the pain that's going to come with that. So maybe we will send our Wyverns in to tie these units up, actually. That might be kind of a good plan. So we can go in like this and charge in there. And you know what? We could... So our Knight, obviously we don't want our Knight going down. I suppose we could send this Wyvern in just to tie up these units over here, which I think maybe we will do. Just so that they don't factor in here. Our Charger... Oof, that's going to hurt real bad. So this Frost Elemental is going to be our biggest challenge here to deal with. So we do 3 or 3, so it's not really going to matter. Our Knight is going to be able to really do some big damage to the Frost Elemental, however. But again, we don't want that Fire Elemental blowing up on us. That would be very unfortunate. So maybe what we'll do is we'll back our hero up, do some damage here, and then basically just guard ourselves here a little bit. Like that. There we go. Okay, and again, these two are expendable. Yeah, so they're going to die. A little bit of fire damage. Big ouch. Okay, so they both took attacks of opportunity, but not really too catastrophic for them. And our Knight is actually now in a bit of trouble, so... Now we got to figure out how we want to approach this. So, This Frost Elemental, we can get a nice big flanking hit, and I think we're going to do that with our pikemen. And these pikemen are also kind of expendable. I'm not super upset if they go down. The biggest issue is going to be these fire elementals now, because they're going to explode here. So, let's see, can we... I don't think we're going to be able to get the kill necessarily. We could finish off the Frost Elemental, which would probably be a good thing to do, except that then we're going to have this Fire Elemental who's going to be a huge problem. So let's see, what kind of damage do we do here? I think that would actually be just fine to get the kill. We could even sprint in behind like this. Get the flanking kill, explosive death, no worries there. Okay, so now our knight is going to have to... Let's see. You know what? We could do a devastating charge and try and get the kill. I think we'll do that. Okay, perfect. Perfect there. That is great. So now that's dealt with. Ooh, and we actually do quite a bit of damage here with fire. So we could pretty much finish off this air elemental, or at least have it very close to death. So let's try that. Not going to quite get the kill, but very, very close. So now let's see what happens. Okay, so our pikemen went down. Not the end of the world. We're going to use a flank attack there. Perfect. And then we can use our hero to step in and do some big fire damage and probably get the kill. Not quite. But our knight can come in and finish the job. There we go. So we did lose 2 units, but that's alright. It was honestly pretty critical to clear that out, because we couldn't really afford to have all these extra units being generated here to come and take my cities. So that was kind of a must-win battle, even though we did lose some units. And you know what? We could actually... This might be a good idea. We take this stack and we go up through here, and we could join up with some of our stacks above ground and add some more units to here. So I think maybe we'll do that, because this isn't strong enough to go and clear out this beacon of light, as those are quite difficult to manage. So we're going to decline this proposal. And now we have to decide, what do we want to summon. So we could do another Scales of Fortune. Could also summon a Wisp as a scout. So we already have Scales of Fortune on our Draconian city. I think we'll be okay there. I actually wouldn't mind getting a scout here, I think, at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to summon the Wisp, I think like this, and then I'm going to head up along this river. I think that's going to be the game plan. So we're going to go this way. There we go. Alright, so we're going to head up the river and see what we find. And then in terms of what to cast next, I think maybe another Node Serpent would be just what the doctor ordered. And we're going to need some help with this unit to be able to take out this city, that much is for certain. Maybe I should have used the Wisp to go and join over there, actually, now that I think about it. But in any case, let's clear out this particular structure here. So we got to keep in mind that there is a spell in effect here. Basically, resurrects a random... We'll just wait till they're done their turn. Resurrects a random friendly unit each combat round. Resurrected units are brought back with 50% of their total health. Machine and undead units can't be resurrected. So when these units go down, they can come back, which is a bit of a pain in the butt for me, but it is important to remember. Alright, so the Martyr is going to be tanking damage for this Spirit Elemental, so a little bit annoying, but something we just got to have to deal with here. So why don't we put our Node Serpent kind of up front like that. Yeah, that'll do. And our Griffin Rider like this. And our Night Guard. Removes all magical effects from target enemy unit. You know, that would actually be really nice to throw on the Spirit Elemental here who has that Transfer Pain. So we'll actually throw our Night Guard up front like that. Actually, can we step one more forward and then use that ability? We could. You know, I've never used it before, but let's give it a try. Oh, and it won't work. Okay, so why not? I'm not exactly sure, but... So it doesn't affect the Spirit Elemental in this case. I think what we'll do here is we'll move over and we'll throw a Touch by Faith there. And then we're going to let them come at us here. Yeah, there's some damage. Ouch. Okay, so now we can fly in behind the Martyr and do a nice big flank attack. Move in and get the kill there. Remembering that they're going to revive here if we don't kill off everything else, which we more than likely will not. So I think what I'll do here is I'll drop a heal on the Monster Hunter, put them in defense mode, and we'll actually send our Node Serpent in as well, do a flank attack there. Now, just out of curiosity, what kind of damage do we do? Actually, quite a bit. We might even be able to get the kill here. Let's give it a try. Nice. Okay, yeah. Got the kill. Perfect. Of course, now that unit's revived, but I think we'll be alright. Yeah, there we go. No worries there. So now we can get the kill there. Perfect. And we can't convert the Spirit Elemental because it's immune to spirit damage. So, now let's see. We might want to throw a heal on somebody here. Maybe on our Night Guard, actually. That would be kind of nice. So we'll throw a heal there. We'll fly in and get the flank hit. There we go. And then we can come in and get the kill with our Node Serpent for a little extra experience. Nicely done. Alright, that takes care of that battle. And yeah, I think we'll head down this way. You know what? Maybe we'll rather than do some scouting with this little guy, maybe we'll send him over here to help out with this battle that's going on. Be nice to have a little expendable unit to just aid this stack in attacking the city here. And in the meantime, we'll do just a little touch of scouting here. Why not? We don't want to get too far away from the city, but just a little bit. Alright, so now let's decide on some research here. Yeah, Eldritch Horror only 8 turns, you know, that's pretty enticing. I think I'm going to do it. Yeah, there we go. So that'll give us our big boy unit. Okay, so now let's do our production. So our Elven City here, our High Elven City. We have to decide what to produce. So now Manathros has just produced the Observatory, which is part of why that's now taking 8 turns instead of 9. The research, I mean. And so now we have to decide what do we want to do with this city. Might be nice just to get a shrine going. Let's see, we can't really build much in the city in terms of units. So maybe we do a shrine just to get the mana income going. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Alright, in this little stack, I have to decide what to do with them. And then also, got to keep moving Malus around. So, this little stack, we're going to send Malus eventually through this portal here. Whereas this little group of guys here, we're going to have to... Maybe we should bring this stack down, back kind of to my area. Yeah, I think we'll do that. It would be great to eventually get this city as a vassal. 2 turns left. So I think, yeah, we'll just send this unit back, basically. And in the meantime, we'll keep sending Malus up this way. He's going to have to go take that out. Got to go across these mountains first, of course. And it looks like there's a spawning structure here, some bandits, or a scoundrel spawning structure, so we'll go clear that out as well. And that's going to do it for our turn, so we'll end it there. It's a pretty solid turn, and again, I'm very happy with the progress for my Necromancer here. That's quite exciting. So now the big question is going to be, are we going to be able to be strong enough here to charge into this Raven's Keep and do what we need to do to acquire that fallen angel? I'd certainly like to think we're strong enough, but I'm not 100% confident about that. So, Quell the Rebellion failed. That might mean that someone else did the quest. because we certainly had a few turns to do that. I think we had like 10 turns. So the fact that we failed might mean that this city is now a vassal of some... Yeah, it's probably now a vassal or was captured by somebody else, one of our opponents. So this might be actually a good opportunity to send Malus up here and start wrecking face. And you can see the city's actually looks like it's been captured there as it's on fire. So that would be why we failed that particular quest. So I guess that means we may actually know where our opponent is now. Alternatively, it could just mean the city was taken by some roving units, but I'm guessing that it was one of our opponents who took the city. Especially, I think it was actually, yeah, it occurred during one of our opponent's turns, as the independents haven't moved yet. So that would suggest that one of our opponents has captured this city. So we're going to have to go up there and liberate these poor frostlings, who are probably not going to remain frostlings all that much longer, I bet, if they migrated over. Okay, a lot of things have happened here. So we completed Empire Quest, Master Smith, which means that is finished. We've also got Imperial Residence, which is fantastic. Looks like here, so let's check out the quest. Another player has prevented you from completing your quest. Yeah, so that's what I expected. Chiron, join offer. I think it's time for you to join my empire. Yeah, I think that would be excellent for us. Sure. So they are now part of our empire, and that's actually even more reason to send this stack down this way and eventually have them get to our city, because we need some defenders down here. We also are going to have to start clearing out these structures at some point here so that we can get access to their benefits. So let's see what else happened. So we've got our Arcane Forge, which is great, and that gave us Master Smith, which means we now have an item there. Of course, we don't have any unit in the city to be able to actually send that item off, so we're going to have to get somebody down there. And let's see. We now have Imperial Residence, which is fantastic. Oh, look at all those extra casting points. We now have 90, which is just fantastic. So now in our throne, we really don't have a whole lot left to produce. So let's see. We can get this Beacon of Light if we throw a stone wall on there, which is what we're going to do. So the Beacon of Light allows us to produce a Celestial Tower. Let's see what that does. Oh, and it actually would give us more domain. Each round during a siege, and it also does damage to enemies that are sieging the city. That's pretty cool. All right. Well, I very much like that. That's excellent for our throne. And then, okay, so we're gonna need a unit here to guard the city and also to send off this item. And so we don't want our Deathbringer doing that, because that's a waste of the Deathbringer's exceptional talents. Unfortunately, our Cadaver withered away, but that's fine, as we were probably going to replace the Cadaver anyway. So I think we'll just group up like this, and then in the next turn we'll be able to go raid the Raven's Keep. So now we've got the band back together here, so this is going to be our stack. Okay. I suppose what I could do is send this Draconian down to grab that, since we're now in this city going to be producing Draconian Apprentice units, I think. Let's just double check here and make sure. So we don't have a ton of production income in this city. That is the one kind of thing that would be nice to maybe improve. A Siege Workshop would add 10 to that, which would be kind of useful. Expanding the domain by 1 would give us this Beacon of Light as well. We don't really have a ton of things produced. I think, though, we will start working on... We'll get at least one apprentice going, just to have them. So that would be great. I am going to keep this unit here because this city is pretty valuable. So we won't worry about what that item is just yet. In the meantime, we'll send the hero stack here with our rogue. We'll send them through the Shadow Gate. Ooh, and here's some undead. Wraith King, Bone Wyvern, Carrion Bird, Lost Soul. This would be fantastic to raid using my Necromancer hero. I don't think we're quite strong enough to go and deal with that. Although, I mean, it'd be close, but we're kind of beat up. So I think rather than try that, I'm just going to kind of leave it for now. We have to remember that that's there, because obviously that's going to start threatening these cities if I do anything too crazy. All right, so with our Theocrat here, we've got some work to do. So I think what we'll do is we will attack this structure. So we've got a couple of berserkers. Mass curse is going to be affecting us. I think what we'll do is we'll take these dwarven cities and then migrate them over to draconians, since they're in the volcanic terrain. And that'll get us some evil points in addition to just giving us more draconians, which is always a good thing. And we're going to go Touch of Faith here on the Node Serpent. I believe these berserkers have mind control immunity. Yes, they do. So there's no sense in me trying to do anything in terms of trying to convert them. That's going to be not productive. So we're going to just tell our units to basically just hang out. So they're going to charge in at us, I'm sure. Yeah, there's that pounce, due to the fact that they're Tigran. So we can step back. Oh, actually, I probably shouldn't have stepped back. Oh, well. I think we'll be all right. So we'll move in here, and we'll finish off the berserkers that way. And then we can... let's just see kind of what damage we're doing. I think we will use our Griffin Rider to do some damage. There we go. They have Overwhelm, which is going to really mess up our Night Guard, so I probably don't want to do that. Use our Monster Hunter to dish out some damage. There we go. And then we can actually drop a heal on our Monster Hunter a little bit. There we go, that's quite nice. Then we can come in and get the finish with our Night Guard. Used up all their retaliation ability, so that was good. Alright, nice and clean, no problem there. Alright, so now let's take care of these dwarves. We're going to trespass. We're going to declare war. So dwarves are not going to be one of our favored races in this game. So we're going to take the city and migrate it over to draconians. So we will throw a Bestow Iron Heart there on our Griffin Rider. We're just going to kind of bring everybody in here for this battle. So we're facing a Deep Guard, a Prospector, and a Crossbowman. I guess we'll maybe see if we can grab the Deep Guard using Convert. There we go. Touch of Faith, just for a little extra experience. And we did get a level up there with Virix, which is excellent. So we will fly in behind here like this. And then we will move in and get the finish on the crossbowman there. No problem at all. And we'll just do a little bit of damage to the prospector, why not? And that should be it. Alright, fantastic. So now let's move over here. Try for a convert. Failed. We only had a 50% chance, so coin flip on that one, basically. And yeah, we'll go do a little bit of damage with our Night Guard. There we go. And then we can move over here with our Node Serpent. We didn't really need to use the sprint, but that's okay. And then we'll get the finish with our Griffin Rider. So that takes out that city. And so again, this is in Volcanic. So what we're going to do is we're going to migrate over to Draconians. So that's going to give us some evil points. It's going to make the dwarves really unhappy with us, but it's going to make the Draconians like us a little bit better. Alright, so now you can see here Divine Justicars. This is exactly what Casper Eklund was talking about. Unfortunately, I don't have my 10 points because I spent them on the last level up like a dummy. And so now we're going to have to save for one more level up. this would give all units in the hero's army Resurgence, which basically makes that spell that I already grabbed kind of useless. So we're going to just save those points and try and get that. So we got some structures here we need to kind of get rid of. So I think we'll head down and clear out this farm and this crystal tree and everything. This little guy is going to have to keep moving over this way to try and help out. Yeah, we really want these dwarves dead. So we'll just chill there. Alright, so Malus now. We can use Malus to go clear out this well here. These pesky crows are always pretty annoying. Alright, so we got to watch out for our Exterminator, who's not in good shape. So let's go do some damage with our Node Serpent. There we go, got the kill. And we can light up the Carrion Bird a little bit, do some damage. I think we will send our Phantasm Warrior in to deal with the crow, or the bird, I should say. Our Storm Priest here can basically just sauce these crows a little bit, do some big damage there. And then we can pretty much just get the finish here. That would actually probably be maybe the most beneficial. Just to finish them off. And then it might be nice just to move our Exterminator in, throw it in defense mode, call it a day. Now let's just hope they don't gang up on my Exterminator. Okay, so they're going after the hero. Oof. Boy, Malus took a pounding there, so we got to make sure he doesn't go down. So first things first, we'll step off and kill these crows. There we go. And then we can step closer, kill the Carrion Bird. Excellent. And then now we can spit on the crows a little bit. Nice. Move in like this and get the kill there. No problem. So Malus took a bit of a beating, but he'll be okay. There we go. That's done. So now it would be great to get rid of these bandits here. Or these scoundrels, I should say. And they do have a lesser Shadow Stalker there as well. So let's move in with Malus and initiate the battle. I'm going to have to be somewhat careful here because obviously these Shadow Stalkers are not exactly pushovers. And we've got these scoundrels who are always kind of sneaky. So let's drop a heal on our Node Serpent. Make sure that the Node Serpent's ready to go, as that's going to be kind of our main unit. We'll throw the Lightning Sprite down. And then we'll move up with our Node Serpent, move up with our Phantasm Warriors, and we'll also get our Storm Sisters involved. I think we will basically just put the protection on our Storm Sisters there, who are probably the most vulnerable due to not having as much health, to some crossbow attacks there. Okay, a little bit of attempted to cripple me there, but fortunately failed. So we will move in like this and attack. And let's see what kind of damage can we do here. Boy, we can do quite a bit actually. We can virtually get the kill if we double it up there. Almost get the kill, not quite. Although if we bring Malus up, we might be able to do it. There we go, nice, okay. So that's dealt with. Now we've just got the Scoundrel, who I think we will throw ourselves in defense mode. We have to remember the Scoundrel does have Sprint, and the Shadow Stalker will attack a little bit. We'll just move the Exterminator up, and that'll do it. So let's see what happens here. So they sprinting around. Oh, and they went for our little expendable unit, which was just fine, our Lightning Sprite. Absolutely no worries there. So then we can go in behind and just get the kill that way. No problem at all. And just like that, we took out yet another spawning structure. Piercing Lance of War gives first strike, overwhelm, and armor piercing. I will take that. That is a pretty decent weapon. Nice for Malus to have. Alright, so we'll group back up. So now we're going to have to head back this way, grab this ancient ruin, maybe grab this item rack, and then go through and see what kind of damage we can do above ground. All right, so I think that's a good place to leave it for this episode. We're going to zoom out here and just get a look kind of at our area. So, yeah, we've now gained another city, and we're on our way to starting to research here. If we zoom back in, we're on our way to getting Eldritch Horrors. So we're progressing. We're moving along. We're going to save this one here. We will call this one episode 7. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.